So hey builders and makers, so I've had a lot of questions on what I used on the inside of my current mouse droid build. I just thought I would go through a little bit of the explanation of what's on the inside. So I'm using just a standard RC controller. This is using a control system that Stefan and I created, and we've incorporated on several droids now. Uses just your standard RC controller, and then uses a set of buttons here that I can use 15 different animations or sounds, and then you can also flip a switch and add another 15 sounds to that also if you have that need. So we'll go ahead and open this. So one thing on the outside that I added to this was just the quick removable top. So if he does turn over, or for transport, I can take these off and store them separately. So then you can see I've got this just on a switch to raise him up, and then go through several of the sounds.
Remember, go black, black, black. Hello, hi, bubble freak.
And then I've also got just some random sounds of his. And then I've got the original mouse droid sounds. And also a few of the theme songs of the show. All right, so we'll go through what's on the inside. So decided to add LEDs on the inside to actually light him up, to show a little bit more of his actual color. When the lid is on, it was a little bit too dark on the inside. So that can just come loose here. And then we can take the battery loose here. And then this just lifts off. And we can see the inside. So there's a little bit more, just the brain of the system. Just uses an Arduino Mega, and then one of the small sound boards there. We're going to look at swapping that over to an ESP32 or something like that to actually make the package a little bit smaller. And then I've got the RC receiver there. It's got a BEC there. And this is the lift mechanism here that you can see. It uses two actuators instead of one, and I've just got them tied together so they perform as one. And then also had to program those separately before I connected them together to make sure that they rode up and down even and weren't off and fighting each other. And they use a couple of the controllers there because they have a feedback actually, and I'll show you the actual actuator that I use is the P16-P linear actuator with feedback, and then you can also buy their controllers, and that uses for my particular one, it's a 200mm stroke, and it's the gear ratio of 22:1 with a 12-volt input. And we'll connect the battery back up, and you can see those. There, and basically it just rides on the wheels that go there. It's hinged in the back and just rides along that area there on the inside of the fiberglass shell. I've also got a on and off system with the remote, so it has the emergency kill switch there and activation. That activates and deactivates the drive, and then you can see the JBL speaker that I'm using there for sound. I just chose that because I wanted a little bit more bass and treble sound instead of just getting a real tinny sound from just using some open speakers. And it has its own power supply, which is cool. Just have to remember to charge it. It is using a tank drive system. I did have solid wheels on the front and the back, and then working with David Ferreira, we got it swapped over to the Omnis in the front. And then I think this is using the 437 RPM Servo City motors. It uses 4 of them. And I did that mainly to get a little bit more speed out of it, and then also to still be able to pull things with it, such as BB-8 or R2. I tested it out with these motors in it, and I can still ride on it, and it still, pulls around my weight without any issues. So should be okay with BB-8. So I think that covers it. I mean, I am using, well, also in the bag, using a saber tooth as far as just controlling the motors. So that should cover everything that's inside it. If you have any more questions, just let me know.